Allow me to educate you guys on what soft life actually means.
Let's do it.
We're exhausted. Okay, we are exhausted. That is it. We want a life where love does not equal struggle. We want a life in which there isn't a necessity to be combative and to always have your guard up and be hyper vigilant about every little thing, because as difficult as the world is for black men, it is equally as difficult for black.
That's not a soft life. That's a, I'm tired of working. I'm tired of doing shit. I want somebody to take care of me because I exist. That's what a soft life that you guys define that is. And you didn't want a soft life. You wanted to party. You wanted to go to clubs. The guys that wanted to take care of you, they were boring. Because responsibility, being able to create a soft life is boring. Good credit is boring. Not having to put a down payment down is boring. Lights always being on is boring. Not having to run around and checking folks' phone and people calling in the middle of the night and all this other stuff, that's boring.
I think a lot of women have already bypassed the man that they should have been with to achieve this version of a soft life that they talk about so much. I always think about complaints, and complaints are usually coming from people that either don't qualify for what they're talking about or can't afford what they want. And sometimes buying something is being able to afford something is not always about money. You know, you can only have the relationship you can afford, and it has nothing to do with money. It has more to do with your behavior and what you prioritize at certain points in your life. So if you get trapped into the cycle of trying to be uber productive, trying to be make your way through corporate, focusing on your business, you're going to have to trade something off. And that's what you see a lot of women talking about when they bring up this soft life conversation. And shout out to Legacy of Pretty on TikTok for giving her thoughts on it. So to add the male perspective to it, I will say that a lot of women that missed their opportunities and invested in the and now are now invested in the complaints of their choices, they have only gripes at this point to show for it, because the illusion of whatever they were chasing turned out to be a lot more intuitive, a lot more involved than what they expected. So a lot of people are going to be in this conversation and expect this to increase a whole lot more. It's always been popular to talk about this conversation surrounding the utility of a man and the value of a man. But when they have these conversations and it centers around being single by choice, no, you're single because of the choices you made. The life you have is the one that you earn, and nobody deserves more than what they worked for.
You didn't want that. You wanted excitement. You wanted to go out every day. You wanted all this great excitement. When you couldn't find it, you found somebody else who was excited. Now you're tired of being excited. You're tired of the roller coaster. You want to get off. You want to get off this ride. And now you just want to, sit down and ride on the little ocean, at the water park where you just float the calm seas. But guess what? Nobody cares. Nobody.
And I'll also like to add too, those same stories about like centered on men in urban entertainment, where they are in the process of trying to transfer from being in the urban space of selling dope, doing things in the street, and trying to transmute all of that energy into a legit business. Well, men have tried to do that, and it's somewhat of a fairy tale. Some people get lucky and get out. Well, women on the other side will do the same thing, and they'll end up trying to create this soft life by having a kid with somebody, attach themselves to a man. Many women do not move without a man being part of their plan. So when they don't have the man involved in it, then it becomes complaint driven. And you hear a lot of women marginalizing the value of men by saying either A, that they all cheat, and coming up with these things that demonize or minimize the value of a man. And then in that case, the irony of it is the very reason that they have so many complaints is because they bypassed the man that would have created this soft life opportunity for them.
Nobody wants to carry you on them soft seas. Nobody looking to do all that for you. So You're talking about combative. That's what you asked for. The ones that didn't want to be combative, you said they were boring. You said they were too respectful. They were too nice. 20, 30 years later, now you want a soft life. Guess what? Their wives got one.
They lied. Their wives got one. Where your husband at? This has been another episode of Beyond the Algorithm. Make sure you like, share, and subscribe. Go get the book. And most importantly, I will see you beyond the algorithm, because that's where life actually happens. Later.